set.
Warm up set. There we go. In the gym, you warm up before you get to your top set.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. All right. Give it a second here. I think it's still pulling up. All right, we're good now.
Cool.
All right. Jim, once again, take two. I appreciate
Take
you.
two. Warm up set. Done.
Warm up set. There we go. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule, man. I know you work a lot of hours. I know you've got a family. I know you've got a lot of things going on. So I do appreciate you taking the time to be fully present with me here today to talk about how you were able to change your body composition while working 45 plus hours a week, man. I know that's not something that's easy to do. And it's something I could talk about all day on Facebook and in my content, but I'd rather, get a real person up here, someone, sometimes it's better to hear it from you because, people might be able to relate to you a little bit more than they can relate to me. So, in this case. So, with that being said, context here, Jim and I've been working together for about 9 months now. He's been doing this. He's had a busy ass schedule since we started. He's tried making excuses before, but he's been very consistent over the past 9 months, and he's been able to maybe not lose a ton of weight, but actually change his muscle to fat ratio.
Yeah, 20 pounds is good, but nothing. I'm definitely stronger. I got a lot more muscle, so it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So changing that muscle to fat ratio. So you've done an awesome job with that. And I'm very proud of you for that.
Thank you, man.
Why don't you go ahead and so why don't you go ahead and just give them some background, tell them what your lifestyle is like, what your I guess your career is and that kind of stuff, and just how all that stuff plays into it.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And thank you so much. Likewise for having me on today to do this. I get an opportunity to work with Dallas, like you said, past 9 months. We get on a Zoom call like this for a check-in every single week, and we end up just really connecting on a really cool personal level, friendship level. That's what's great about the way Dallas has kind of built this thing. So felt really compelled to get on here and just kind of share the journey, of what it is. But yeah, so I'm in the mortgage banking business. I have been in the business for quite a while. All of us are working from home these days, and so I had to try to figure out a way to create new routines, create new habits, and stay really consistent, with the workout. I have kind of a high stress life, high stress business. And so it's easy for me to stress eat or to, make excuses and run out of energy, for the most part. And so the reason why I wanted to work with Dallas and why I hired Dallas and kind of sought him out is just all results. And it wasn't going to be eating chicken and broccoli, and 1,000 calories, a day, but something that over the course of time, I was going to be able to weave into my life and make work for me. And so it's been great. And so there's been a lot of progress, not perfection, and a lot of things that could have derailed me, should have derailed me. But thankfully I've been healthy, this entire time. Had some setbacks in the beginning with regards to muscles pulled, getting back into the gym, all that kind of good stuff. But with Dallas's help and counsel, worked through that stuff, stayed consistent, got back on track. And so, yeah, man, for me, I couldn't have done it without you, quite frankly, being there by my side and inside the technology and the tools that you have to help, everything laid out. Like really, you've taken a lot of the hard work, the guesswork, the planning out of it. What I have to do is just do the work, right? And you're there. You're there with me to do it. And so as long as I'm doing my part, you're doing your part, man. It's been an awesome journey.
Yeah, man. That's my goal, man. I really just want to get it to where all you got to do is show up, man. Like who wants to? You've got a million decisions to make, and we all know about decision fatigue. When you've got a stressful life, you got a stressful job. Last thing you need to do is come in the gym and make more decisions, right? And have to think too hard. Because if you got to think too hard, you're gonna resent the process, and it's just gonna spiral out of control. So, Jim, with that being said, appreciate you sharing all that. Why is getting your health in check even so important to you at this stage of your life? Because let's face it, man. If you don't work out and hit your deadlift at 6 a.m. tomorrow, you're not gonna die. It's like nothing bad is gonna happen inherently, but nothing that drastic is gonna happen. But why is getting your health in check so important to you right now, man?
Yeah, I mean, dude, what I've learned this past 9 months, getting kind of back into it, and I'm just like in the very beginning of my journey towards a better health, better energy, better life, all that kind of great stuff, right? So I'm just still in the very beginning stages of it. I look at this thing as a very long-term approach. I'm not, trying to do 75 hard and trying to accomplish something. I mean, that's a great thing. I've done it, but I'm more interested in like 75 weeks. Or maybe 75 years, right, of being on a journey of health. So for me, it's all about progress. It's never about perfection. And I just want to get a little bit better, right? And so why it's important to me is just, I want to be healthier. I want to have more energy. I want to feel better about myself. I want to love, myself, even more. We're supposed to love our neighbors ourselves. And, first key to that is you got to figure out a way to love yourself. Right. And so for me, it was all of that. I wanted more energy. I wanted to deal with my stress better. Wanted to drink less, wanted to eat less, wanted to have more vibrant energy, wanted to show up and live my life more to the full. Right. So for me, it's all about energy. And so the more that for me, that I stay consistent and I keep the commitments that I make to myself, the more self-love I have, the more confidence I have, and the more energy and the more ethos I bring to the world, and ethos is just less of what you have to talk about and more about who you are. Right. And so for me, I'm really accountable to the man in the mirror. Right. I talk to him often. That's me. And I can't lie to myself because it just is what it is. Right. And so I'm either doing the work, showing up, and I'm not. And so for me, you've helped me kind of create new habits and a new way of being. And for me personally, I need to work out in the morning early as I possibly can. I used to struggle to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, quite frankly, and be at my desk by 9. Now I'm, it's consistently, up at 5:30. Even on the weekends, and my workout's done by 7:15, 7:30. My video shot to Dallas is my personal accountability. And I'm showering, having my protein shake, man, and I'm rocking and rolling, ready to rock and roll. If I miss my workout, my whole day is off. Right. And so I'm so thankful at this moment in time that it's gotten to that point. And it wasn't always easy. I've just learned over my my life that I need to do the difficult things in my life as early on in the day as possible. So the rest of my day is golden. So when I have super hard calls to make, I make them early. When I have things that I know that I don't want to do, that I need to do, I do those early. My workout was in the beginning was the same. I need to get that stuff done as quickly as I possibly can, so that's one thing I can check off my list that I said I was going to do, that I need to do to hold myself accountable to get it done. So I really focus on in doing things in my life from 8 a.m. till noon. That's the toughest stuff that I need to get done. So I look at my to-do list, my calendar, and I go through like, don't want to do this, don't want to do this, don't want to do this. Boom, that goes to the top, and I'm nailing that stuff first.
Right.
And then by noon, like, dude, it's really great to have take a break, go outside for a little walk, get a couple thousand steps in, and then I'm coming right back at my desk. I'm at home. I have a stand-up desk, and I'm right back at it, right, getting after it. And so from noon on, man, it's gravy. Why? Because I've done all the hard stuff, right? So I love
the hard work out the way.
Yeah, get my workout out of the way, get all the hard stuff in my life out of the way. And in the beginning, the workouts were hard. The discipline was hard, right? And there was lots of temptations that I had to deal with regards to sleeping in, not getting up, not just lots of different things, right? Like that hardest part of getting out of bed is getting out of bed. That's alarm goes off. It's, you have a decision to make, right? And a temptation to make. It's nice to stay in a nice warm bed, snuggled up to a hot wife like I got. Like, man, it's tough, right? But like, I made a commitment, to do it. And I've kind of learned over this last 9 months of working together is that when I'm faced with those temptations, it's also an opportunity. And I think every temptation, there's an invitation to create a new version of yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And that, look, we've all created ourselves out of nothing. People say, well, man, you can't create something out of nothing. Well, I mean, one, God did, but two, you did. I mean, your whole life was created. You created it out of nothing, right? So for me, I created a big old fat body with a belly I wasn't proud of, and man boobs that needed to be in a B cup, C cup, maybe. I didn't like it, but you know what? I created it. And so I also, had to be the creator of unwinding all of those years of just laziness and not working out, not eating right, not taking care of myself and my body. And so for me, man, it was really just all about energy and having a quality of life that I really wanted to manifest and create for myself and be proud of. So I'm not there yet by any stretch of the imagination, but man, every day I work out with my shirt off for a reason, just for the reality check of where I'm at and where I want to go.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So a lot of what I got from that is just, it's a lot of like, physically you want to have more energy, like who doesn't, right? But you want to feel and look better. But also it was like a mindset thing for you, because there's something about building momentum throughout the day. You got your hardest thing done in the morning. You worked out. You've been up for 3 hours. Most people are sleeping in until that last alarm. They get guzzling coffee, rushing to work. You've been up for a few hours. Man, how much better does that make your day? And it's like the way you do one thing is the way you do anything. So it's just harnessing that discipline. But one thing you and I talk about a lot is just leading by example. And I know you hold a leadership position at work. You know, you're a VP of sales at your company, and you just excelled into a new role. Why would you say this is so important? Like, in your opinion, why would you say that the importance of your health should be so important to guys like you, or guys in your position, or guys in your field? Because I know the work culture is like rise and grind, wake up early, go to bed late, you know, just work all day, not have a life. That's kind of the culture in sales. And it's also, I know that you preach to your team that they should be the best version of themselves and they should work out. Like, when you're coaching guys in the mortgage business, you're not just telling them X's and O's in terms of strategy. You're telling them they should be optimizing their energy. They should be working out and eating right. I noticed you saying those things. So in your opinion, like, why is that so important for somebody in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of goes back to a little bit of ethos. But when I'm coaching, you know, salespeople, you know, or, you know, people on my team, you know, what have you, I'm always reverse engineering things to the point where I want to break it down per day, per hour. And so I have a formula that I start with the end in mind, and then we work backwards. And so I like to help people really get really clear on what kind of day they want to create. I'm convinced that you cannot win your year if you don't win your quarter, and you cannot win your quarter if you can't win your month, and you can't win your month if you can't win your week, and you certainly ain't winning your week if you ain't winning your day. So what does that day look like? And most people just don't think about like creating that day, right? Like me, my 4 hours of pain from 8 to 12, you know, is the things that I don't want to do, but I've created space so that I can enjoy, you know, the rest of it and be really productive and rock and roll. Look, we all have to do things, you know, in our jobs that we don't like, period. That's life. Nobody's promised that, you know, an easy life, but there's things that you got to do that are required. Right. And for me, it was like, hey, I need to get really clear on it. I need to get energy. I need to get focused. I need to get rock and rolling. So what's a perfect month for me? What's a perfect week for me? What's a perfect day for me? And then really wanted to create it. And it really resulted back down to energy. And so if you were a mortgage professional and you're coming to me and saying, hey, Jim, I want to grow my business, I'd say, okay, well, give me an idea of what your day looks like. Okay, well, you know, not a lot of structure typically. You know, what people have most of the time, people go, well, I'm reactionary, right? It's not really proactive. It's really reactive. So we create some framework and say, here's what we want to do. We need you to work 21 days a month, 5 days a week, 7 hours a day. That's 420 minutes, right? We want you to talk to 7 to 10 people and find one new client that you can help, right? So we need to create framework, you know, around all that so that you're not burnt out, you're not overworked, but there's space for you to be the husband or wife that you know that you need to be. You can be the leader that you know that you need to be. You can be the productive work person that you need to be. And there's room for you to have, you know, your health and your vitality. I mean, look, there's no point in making a whole bunch of money if you have to spend all your money to, you know, then get back your health, right? Wealth without health doesn't make any sense, right? So it's all about, like, one, the energy, two, the mindset. Like, who doesn't feel better when they work out? I don't know anybody, right? Like there's endorphins that kick in, and there's mindsets and moods and things. And also you feel really proud of yourself when you work out. I guarantee you everybody feels proud of themselves when they do it, especially when they don't want to do it and they do it and they go, I did it anyway, right? Like there's a little bit of self-love and self-pride. And I'm a big believer in self-confidence, and that there's a lack of it right now. A lot of people will go towards, you know, depression and you know, anxiety and all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's real stuff, and it exists. But I also think that there's not a lot of people keeping the commitments that they make to themselves, not a lot of gratitude out there, and a lot less you know, people drinking a lot of water, you know, drinking less alcohol and working out. I think it's all connected. I think your mind and your body and your energy, Dallas, is connected to every other aspect of your life, right? When you have no energy, you're not showing up in very many other areas in your life playing at a high level. And I like to play at a high level. I think life is a beautiful gift and a phenomenal opportunity to have a ton of fun, be really productive, be a very, very valuable, you know, human being. And I can't do that if I have no energy. I can't do that if I'm overweight, not loving myself and not feeling confident. And so working out for me it's just a non-negotiable, man. I got to do it. I love doing it. It's the one thing in my day that, you know, it's like oxygen to me. I got to get my workout in at least 5 days a week. I'm going on 73 weeks in a row right now, of 4 days or more on my Peloton. It was a commitment that I made after I finished 75 hard the second time, is that I wanted to go 75 weeks, 75 days. Great. Awesome. Super hard, difficult. Failed at it even a couple of times before I was successful, but 75 weeks, it was a whole new level, right? 75 weeks. And like I said, it's not going to stop after that. It's just going to keep going. I'm on a mission to get way more healthy, and get a lot more energy, and to be even just a better version of myself. That's what, for me, what it's all about. I want to get a little bit better every single day. Progress, not perfection.
Right. So when you relate that to somebody in your field, what I got from that is like, hey, I could give you the strategy, I can give you the scripts, I can even give you the mindset you should have showing up to work. But if you want to, but it's not just about making money, it's about creating the life that you want for yourself. Because if you don't create the life that you want for yourself, you don't use this as an avenue to get there, you don't do things that are pouring into yourself, you're going to become resentful, and your sounds like your work performance would decline anyway. So
yeah. I think, you know, a lot of people will
out.
spend, a lot of people spend all their health to try and accumulate wealth, just to get wealthy, to spend all their wealth trying to get back their health. Right. So,
Instead of having both.
yeah, you're not great if you have a bunch of money, but you have a heart attack or a stroke. Right. You're not great when you got, you know, a 42-inch waist. Like, you're just not, you're not running the best life and living the best life that you possibly can. And for me, that's where I was. I had a reality check. I just looked at the man in the mirror and said, you know, I'm either going to be proud of that person or I'm not. Like, nobody else got me here. Like, nobody puts food in my mouth. Right. I do that. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to be better. That's kind of how it all started. Now, as it's evolving, there's all the other byproducts in every other area of my life that's rising up to that level of my commitment to, you know, eating better, working out, and staying consistent. So, I was in the gym this morning. I can't even believe, you know, the weight that I'm lifting right now is greater. I'm lifting more weight now than I ever have in my entire life, ever. It's so,
even in high school and college.
Even in high school and college, yeah. And so my weight's not where I want to be, but like I never put up the 100 dumbbells on the flat bench before and rocked 12 reps. You know, like, I shouldn't be doing that. I mean, even right now, I'm looking at it, go, man, like, that wasn't even that difficult, you know? And so I'm just loving the journey that I'm on.
Yeah, I love that for you, man. So yeah, we focus a lot on why this is so important, why you do it, why anyone else who's in your situation should do it. Let's talk about difficulties, because it's not all peaches and sunshine. Like, what's the hardest part for you, man? Like, I know you work a lot of hours. I know you have a family. I know you want to hang out. I know you have temptations. I know you want to have a life, right? What's the hardest part for you, man? And how do you deal with it?
Yeah, definitely the hardest part is the fork in the road, the temptation, right? Of that stress meal, that stress cocktail, that work event, that traveling, you know, thing that I got going on, that, you know, anniversary that I wanted. I mean, you know, there's so many reasons for me that show up in my busy life that create a potential setback, right? Even when I had toe surgery, you know, I still worked out. You know, it wasn't the best workout, but I worked out. I stayed consistent with the commitments that I made to myself. Even when I hurt my back, you know, in the winter, I still was, you know, working out, doing the best that I could. Even when I pulled my hamstring, right, bad, couldn't walk, still did, you know, what I could possibly do. And so, you know, the toughest thing for me, I would just say is early on, just the lack of commitment that I really had to myself, right? To stay consistent. This is what I said I was going to do, and I need to do it. And so I really am a firm believer that, man, I just got to be committed to doing what I say I'm going to do for my own personal sanity. If I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, that guilt and that shame is on me. And I hate living that way. So I'm a how you do anything, you know, how you do everything, you know, kind of person, just like you said, you know, kind of early on, like you can turn half-ass on and you can't really turn it off. Right. But when it's just becomes who you are, it's just different. So that's why for me, I look at the software, you know, that you provide. I look at the results and I'm like, man, it's consistent. It's awesome. It's ups and downs and it's peaks and valleys. And man, some days I don't want to work out. Some days I don't feel good. Some days I have, you know, kind of I'm under the weather, or I got an injury, or I got whatever, but I just got to do what I got to do. Right. I got to get in there and I got to do something, you know? So, it took a long time to get there. It took a good 3 to 4 months, quite frankly, to get to the level where, it's kind of a ruthless commitment to self-love and get better. But it sounds really, you know, all internal, you know, for me. And it kind of is. It's a battle that I'm fighting against Jim. And that is like, no excuses, just results. And so just get after it.
All right. So temptations and like decision-making is the hardest part. And yeah, I even got to stress, man, like, although you're very militant with this stuff now, it's just a part of who you are. You can't see your life without working out. Even though you're working 80 hours a week at your new job, you're still getting up early in the morning to work out because it's a non-negotiable for you. But man, we were far from perfect on this journey. I remember the first few months, like we had our ups and downs. You got hurt a couple times, like you wanted to give up, I'm sure, but you know, you almost had you know, had bad episodes with like food sometimes and like stress eating. But it's like even then, so we had to redial in your commitment. Like sometimes we had to start over with certain things, but it's the resiliency, it's the mindset. Like, okay, well, this is going to get done in one way or another, and I don't have to be perfect. It's about progression. It's about
Yeah.
you know, recommitting and getting back on the horse when we mess up. So I
Oh yeah.
appreciate that you sharing all that.
Yeah, I've definitely
I
failed
think,
a lot more than I've won. I've definitely caved the other way towards temptation and failure and a setback than I have on the other way. But that's also how I learn. I fall down, I get back up, and I keep on going. And I think any of us, we only lose in life when we quit. You know,
yeah,
when we
I say
get
that a
back
lot.
up and we keep on going, right? All we did was just learn from it, commit to getting better and rocking and rolling. And it's just gotten better. Like I said, I'm a long way from where I want to be. But I'm super happy with the path that I'm on and the progress that I've been making.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. Like in the workplace, we allow ourselves to mess up. In relationships and parenting, we allow ourselves to make mistakes. Why do we treat our health any differently? Why are we so perfectionist? Why are we so all or nothing and like give up when things get hard or like we mess up, you know, beating ourselves up? It's like, bro, just get back on the horse. Just make the next right decision. So,
Yep.
yeah, I can definitely appreciate that word of advice. So, Jim, what would you say is, I guess, the biggest piece of advice you would give to somebody who's in your shoes? You know, somebody who was in your shoes early on. It's like, you know, it's a catch-22. They feel like, you know, they're constantly giving themselves to work. They're constantly giving themselves to their family at home, but not giving 100% because they're so tired. And it's like they feel like they don't have the time to work out. They're too busy. Whatever stories that they're telling themselves. Oh, it's too hard. My age, it's impossible. You know, whatever. What piece of advice would you give to somebody like that to turn it around for them? Or maybe
Yeah, I
get them
mean,
to see it a little differently.
yeah, I mean, like anything in life, you know, it's all about results, not reasons, right? There's a million reasons not to do it, and there's a million reasons to do it. There's a decision that has to be made, right, to do it. And every temptation is an invitation for you to get better. And that's something that you have to own and something that you have to kind of get to. But what advice? So what was the question? What advice would I give to somebody that's getting
Like
ready to get
who's
on
in
this
your
journey?
Yeah, like, or maybe somebody who isn't even on the journey yet. Like maybe you 9 months ago or a year ago. You know, I know we spoke a couple of years ago. It was like you were
Yeah.
kind of struggling, but
Yep.
you weren't sure if you were going to commit or not.
Yeah.
It was like, what advice would you give to somebody who maybe is struggling with their health or just is claims they're too busy to do anything about it?
Yeah. I mean, just get in the game, right? This is one thing that I probably shot 30 of these videos. Hey, Dallas, it's Jim. Same old, same old. Got my workout in, done. I'm on the Groundhog's Day in, day out. It's all about consistency and progress. And man, it's really easy. I swear, it's really easy to gain weight. You can gain weight in a weekend. It's really difficult to lose weight in a weekend, right? So I would say, you know, for anybody, just be patient with it and enjoy it. Stay consistent, but don't plan on results happening, you know, every single day on the scale, every single week on the scale. It happens over time. Be patient with it. Learn to fall in love with the process and the journey of it, and learn to fall in love with the process that you're going through mentally, physically, and spiritually. Like you're going to learn a lot about yourself when you make decisions to do stuff and you do it, and then when you don't do it, and then when you do it and you make mistakes, and then you have to self-talk your way back into it. And so I would say fall in love with all of those aspects of it. And over the course of time, the more committed and consistent, you know, I become, the more I enjoy the process. It's way easy for me to look back on my week and say, I hit my goals. Awesome. Great. Versus, hey, I only got 2 days in this week. Damn it. Right. So just consistency. I mean, it's a matter of, you know, 30 or 40 minutes, you know, in a day that makes or break everything. And then of course, there's a whole nother, I'm sure, thing we could talk about with regards to, you know, what you've taught me on macros and eating and all that. And I'd say even more important than the discipline and the commitment that you make to yourself to get on the workout, you know, routine is really getting the education to understand how to eat. I found that, you know, a lot of people, me included, you know, what we learned about eating and the pyramid of, you know, protein and carbs and this, yeah, and what to eat. I mean, we learned in high school, right? Like we learned, you know, I mean, for me, 30 years ago, like that stuff, things have changed. Like everything in life evolves, right? But most of us don't evolve, right? Like most of us are still listening to music from the 90s, right? From the 80s, 70s, right? Like things have changed, things have evolved, and so is the education and the science around, how to eat the right way and to maximize, all of that. You can eat whatever you want to eat if you understand what the macros are and how that works for you, right? And how many calories you burned and what you worked out. So it's not always about chicken and broccoli and 1,000 calories. It's like, hey, particularly when you work with Dallas, you eat whatever the heck you want as long as you have this inside this framework, right? So it's a lot of freedom and I think empowerment to live your life and eat what you want to eat and enjoy, your life as well. It doesn't have to always be so militant. But now on the other side of the 6 months, 9 months or wherever, time frame feels like, 6 months. I feel really good about the path that we're on. But yeah, it's a journey. It's a process. It's not an event. You're not going to, sign up or work with any coach, any trainer, or, anybody in your life or any school teacher or mentor or anything. And in 30 days have meaningful results or meaningful progress. Like everything takes time, right? Yeah. So just be patient with it and fall in love with it.
Yeah, no, I love that advice too, especially coming from you because, a lot of type A guys, they're really like, you got to love the journey, right? Like you got to trust the process. And I think a lot of type A guys, they do challenges like 75 hard or they just like do these extreme things because they're willing to work hard. And because they're willing to work hard and they're typically impatient by nature, they get disappointed when things don't always go their way. And then that causes them to further delve into that like mindset and then fall off.
Yeah.
So I think just loving the process and being patient is just like counterintuitive advice to tell somebody like that. And it definitely works out in the long run. So if you can accept that and just accept all the, all the concepts that Jim's talking about here, man, that's how you're going to win long term. But it is a long game. I hate all these programs and these diets and these coaches that just advertise real like, oh, quick, fast results. It's like, bro, they're just falling into a trap of like, yeah, we will get quick results, but what after that? What's next? So nothing is going to change your life in 30 days, sometimes even 90. Like it takes time.
Yeah, you can definitely get fast results. You can definitely get fast results, but it's not the fast results you're after. It's the lasting results that you're after. Right. Fast is very different than lasting. Lasting, is really what you want. That's why, I love 75 hard. It taught me a lot. Right. But that like after day 76, then what? Right. Like, do you just recidivate? You just go back to doing what you're doing? Or has there been an immediate change for you in your habits, in your life? And sure, phase 1, phase 2, whatever, but been there, done it. It's great. It's awesome. It's wonderful. But that was just like the first step for me on really where I wanted to go. That's why I said, 75, days, wonderful, 75 weeks, game changer. Right. So that for me, and then, on after that, it's not just going to be 76 and done. Like I'm going to keep on going as long as I possibly can, that I've been blessed with, having health, because I'm on this journey now. I want to be healthier and better and more energetic and more vibrant and more valuable, so I can serve and love more people. That's what my life is really all about.
Yeah, just realigning that to your purpose to bring it home. Yeah, that's true, man. It's like, I don't think there's a point in doing anything if you're not going to do it sustainably. I think a lot of people like trick themselves into thinking, yeah, like they know keto isn't sustainable, but they're like, yeah, I'll do it for 12 weeks and then I'll switch to something more sustainable. It's like, bro, it doesn't work like that. As soon as you start eating pasta again, you're going to gain the weight back. So I appreciate you shedding light on that. And once again, Jim, in general, just thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Just to talk about your experience.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And thank you for everything that you always do for me. You're always so supportive every single week, every single day. I have the opportunity to engage with you and connect with you. You've taught me so much, and man, you've made my life better. And as a result, all the lives that I'm so blessed and so lucky to have the opportunity to be involved in and touch, everybody's benefited. So that's what I love about, all in, all win. Right. Because once we're all in, like really all in, on this journey and really any journey that we're really going on, man, everybody wins. Right. Like we're all connected in some way, shape or form in our lives. And so I'm really thankful and I'm really humbled that I have the opportunity to even get to work with you. I really mean that.
I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the kind words. It's all valid. And I appreciate your time once again.
Cool. Thanks, man.